Hi. So today we're going to do a lesson on graphing and how we can do that with a table of values. There are lots of programs that you can use that will graph for you, but there's sometimes just something about being able to do it by hand. And we're going to do a quick couple of examples, and then there's practice for you to do. So one of the ways to graph a function is to use a table of values. And the table of values is helpful because it gives you a set of points. You can put the points on the graph and then you just connect them, like connect the dots. So let's look at a super simple example and then we will do something a little bit more complicated and I'll show you how to graph each one. So on this one, we'll go to this example over here because it's kind of the easier one. But so we're going to use the table of values to find a set of points to construct a graph or a function. This is what a table of values looks like. So basically we have some x values. We choose those values, or you choose them. You get to sort of pick what values go in there. So it's sort of like the last lesson where you pick the values and then you just sub it in and calculate it. Once you figure out what y is, then we'll have a point. So let's see how it works. I'm going to go a little closer and I'm going to pick some values. I'm going to start at -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and we'll kind of see what happens around the origin of this. But really, it doesn't matter. You choose those values. You get to pick what they want. If you don't like the ones I picked, pick your own. So anyways, what you do then is you take the value that's in the x and you're going to sub it into the formula. So for this one, it's kind of going to look like this. 3x in this case is -2 minus 6. And then we'll just follow BEDMAS to solve that. So 3 times -2 is -6. And when we subtract another -6, we get -12. So then what happens is those two values, the -2 and the -12, become the points of your points on your graph. So in this case, -2 and -12. I'm going to do one more for now. So y equals 3 minus 1 minus 6. We'll calculate this -3 minus another 6 is -9. So our point here is -1 minus 9. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to finish filling it in, and then I'll show you how to graph it. Okay, so now you see, like, I filled it in and gotten all the coordinate points. And now I'm going to show you what we're going to actually do with those points. So we're going to come down to our graph. And each line I'm going to represent like 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 along the bottom. Positives on the top, negative y's on the bottom, and negative x's on the left-hand side. So what happens is you're going to plot the first point. So it's at -2 and -12. So I'm going to first zoom in so I can see it a little bit better. And it's at -2 and -12. I'm not sure I have 12 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's a little bit lower. So it's actually quite down here. The second point was -1 and -9. So I'm going to come over here to -1 and then count down to -9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to plot the point there. So it's right there. The next point, we can go back. I see it's 0, -6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. And then you can just continue plotting the points. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to put them all in, and then I'm going to show you what happens. So now you can see I've got all my points on there, and the way we just find out what the function looks like is we try to draw a line through all the points. And there you have it. This is a graph of the function up here that is y equals 3x minus 6. Now you can nicely label it on your graph, y equals 3x minus 6. And there you go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to this other example. It's a little bit more complicated, but I think that because we've done all our practice with BIDMAS, you can totally do it. I'm going to use the same x values, starting with -2, 0, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do the first one with you, and then I'll let you guys kind of fill in the chart, and we'll see what happens. So y equals 2. We'll put a -2 in there for x. Now what happens is that -2 plus 2 equals 0. 0 times 0 is 0, and then anything times 0, so 2 times 0 is 0. So the whole answer here is -6. I'm going to let you guys try to fill it in. I'm going to pause it, fill it in, and I'll come back when it's done. And there you have it. I have it like completely done. I've done all the math. You guys can check it. And then I've come up with all the points. So the next thing to do is to graph it. Now, on the last example, I let each square just be 1 unit. I'm going to change it this time because we're going to go up pretty far. So I'm going to actually do them by 5s, which you can do if you want. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, and 45. So that'll get us up to where we need to go. But on the side, I'm just going to do by 1s. And that's okay. You can do that if you want. You just have to show it. So as long as you label the numbers to show me what you're doing with it, that's perfectly fine. I'm still going to go by 5s down the side. So -5, -10, -15, and so on. And still by 1s across here. So -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay. Then we just need to plot the points. So the first point was -2, -6. I'm going to use a different color. So -2, -6, which is just below this -5. So I'm going to plot it right here. The next one was 1 and -4. -1, -4. So let's go right here. And I'll keep plotting, and then I'll show you what happens at the end. So there I've got all my points on there. And the last thing to do, same as we did in the other one, is just connect the dots. Now we can see that this one goes up this way. I'm not quite sure what this one's going to do that way. And if you wanted to find out, you just find out some more points, more to the negative side. So maybe try a -4 or -5. Do the calculation, see what you get. You can always get more points if you're not sure that you really have an entire representation of the graph. But anyways, that is, I think that's it. That is a basic way to use a table of values in order to graph a function. Bye.